Hello and welcome to TelecomTV. We are here in The Hague in the Netherlands at the SDN World Congress 2016, and I'm talking with Justin Paul, Head of NFV and OSS Marketing at Amdocs. Justin, good to see you. Nice to meet you. You've done some research recently. Can you tell us about it?
Yes, certainly. So within Amdocs, we've done quite a lot of research into not just the technology behind NFV and SDN, but also what the business cases are, the business models. Part of the reason for that is technologists adore technology and they run towards it. But often when they're trying to make the business case for investment in that technology, they struggle. And what we've tried to do is look at a number of business cases within the NFV SDN space. Now, the most recent piece of work we did, which was working with Analysys Mason, was to look at the business case around virtualization of the content delivery networks. It's a very important area for service providers. We wanted to understand whether there was a positive business case for virtualization of that component within the network and what the various impacts were.
Right. So what conclusions did you reach? Interesting research, because from our side of things, and we've been doing this since NFV was first mooted, when it first it was just an idea. But it seems to me, with network transformation, cloudification, etc., the stress on the network, transformed or not, is going to be immense, given the ever-increasing amount of video traffic that's being carried. So what were the results? What did you draw the main conclusions from the research?
Yes, certainly. So the first one was, and we looked at a particularly large, in European terms, but a typical US service provider with about 16 million homes. In terms of dollar value, it was about a $2.1 billion net benefit over 5 years for virtualization of these components in the network. And that was broken down roughly about $1.8 billion of operational savings and around $300 million driven from new revenue, largely around the virtualization of the set-top box. So replacing the set-top box with a cloud DVR, cloud PVR capability. And of course, that's really just the basis for adding additional new services. You can add things like photo storage, secure document storage, once you have that capability on top. We looked at a number of different areas within this. So we looked at the virtualization of the service delivery platform, the content delivery network as well. We also looked at the impact of virtual probes in this network. We know that as people move towards NFV and SDN, that the physical probes they have in their network are not capable of probing the virtual network.
Indeed.
So there's a compelling event there that means you're going to have to move to these virtual probes. And what we wanted to understand and help our customers understand was that a one-to-one relationship? Was there also a financial benefit for moving to virtual probes?
So did you establish that there are sufficient business cases to make it all worthwhile in the end?
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at the virtual probe piece, it's about a 35% cost reduction overall from that transformation. But I think more importantly, you've got a lot of flexibility around that. So the ability to manage the network experience improves significantly as well when you do the virtualization. And one of the reasons that's important is most service providers today are not growing their subscriber numbers. And so the challenge is, how can you keep them, prevent them churning, moving away? And the ability to differentiate on customer experience by using virtual probes to assure the network provide a higher quality experience is a really important capability going forwards.
We know that video delivery is incredibly important now, more than ever before, as we've already said. Is there any suggestion in your research from what you know that the networks will not be able to cope with the stress and extra demand that's being placed on them?
I think there's definitely compelling events that mean you need to do something, whether it's virtualization or not. It is important. Yeah. And there are a couple of factors that are really impacting the video space. The first one of these is the fact that people are changing their viewing habits. So gone are the days of broadcast TV where everyone watches the same thing at the same time. And really, with the exception of news programs and sport, people don't watch scheduled TV today, and that means there's a lot of streaming, a lot of unicast, a lot of video on demand, which all has a big impact on the network. And I think the other thing to look at is the fact, if you go and buy a TV today, you will struggle to find a TV that is not a 4K TV, even though we don't have the content today. And as the content comes through, that's going to have an impact as well. It's almost a 4 times increase in the bandwidth you require to deliver TV. Combined with that, with the fact you're seeing more and more TVs in the household as well. You have that multi-screen effect with multiple large TVs and tablets and smartphones and everything else. It creates a significant challenge for the operators today. And one of the reasons we looked at this research was, can virtualization address some of those needs? And just to put it in numbers, we know that over the 5-year period of this study, the bandwidth required to deliver a TV channel goes from about 2.6 megabits per second up to over 8 in 5 years. So you can see there's a significant change, and if you do nothing, the network's going to start to squeak and possibly fall over.
Indeed. One thing that is very evident as well about cloudification, network transformation and so on is that erstwhile enemies, or at least deep rivals, collaborate a lot more than they used to and partner a lot more than they used to. I know you have, at Amdocs, you have an NV partner program. Tell us about that. How does it work?
Yeah, certainly. I think when we look at Amdocs, our focus is quite niche within the NFV space. We're very much focused on the management and orchestration space.
Yeah.
It links closely to our traditional billing and CRM business, and it also relates to the traditional OSS business we have, the management of existing networks. But what we've realised is we want to help service providers build complex, exciting, innovative, end-to-end NFV services. And to do that, we need partners. We don't build the virtual network functions, the building blocks. We don't build virtual network infrastructure. So we have to partner to deliver those. And we're actively trying to recruit people to our partner program. We have around 50 partners today in the program. We want to grow that over the next few years, probably close to 100 partners, because we feel once you have all those components, you can build some really exciting and innovative services, but also there's a lot more choice. So instead of just having a single vendor for your firewall or a single vendor for your router, you can choose different vendors, best-in-class vendors for your customers' businesses. And a good example would be around the enterprise space. The firewall needs of an e-tailer are potentially very different from the needs of a banking institution or financial institution. Yeah. In the past, service providers tend to go down the one-size-fits-all approach because that's a very efficient way of doing it. But the reality is, with NFV SDN, you can actually offer each one of those a bespoke and tailored capability that's more closely matching their own needs. And again, that comes back to improving customer experience, improving customer satisfaction, and that's ultimately one of the key drivers for NFV SDN, the ability to deliver these agile services that meet the needs of customers much more closely.
A quick final question to you, Justin. So Amdocs' heritage is BSS, OSS, back office stuff as it used to be, which is now very much front and centre and under the spotlight. Given what we've just been talking about, given that the network transformation is going ahead, given that NFV is now reaching commercialisation point, more or less, probably get the assurance right and other bits and pieces, but we're heading in that direction pretty quickly. Where do you think the industry will be, and you will be as Amdocs, as a player in this area in 12 months' time?
I think one of the transformations we've seen of Amdocs is, while we see ourselves as a network player, I'm not sure the wider industry do in some instances. And we're very keen to demonstrate our credibility in the network domain. Sure. We have actually a long heritage of playing in this space or playing in the operational layer immediately adjacent to it. With the acquisition of Kramer, Jacobs Reimel, Bridgewater Systems, we understand networks very well. But probably the most important thing as an IT company, networks are moving towards the IT domain, and I think that gives us a lot of credibility in that space. So we're looking to leverage our knowledge of the IT space, leverage our knowledge of the service layer, the service approach, and how you monetize those services, and bring something that's slightly new and unique to the industry.
Interesting and a very different perspective on really important area. Justin Paul, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thanks, Martin.